Now, so we just finished watching episode 4 of,
Jesus.
of Archive81, and I have to say, it wasn't the best episode to date. I think the last one was better, but the ending of this episode is something
I
else.
I liked where it was eventually getting us to. Like the ends justify the means, I guess, in the moment, you know?
They still could have
Uh
probably shortened a lot. Like a lot of stuff is
yeah.
kind of like useless, but at the same time, we've arrived at a pretty interesting place where you don't know necessarily what's going on. So okay, well, there's a big reveal that's coming, and what that reveal is going to be, who exactly knows? Because there's cult shit and snuff films and ghost dead people and maybe alive dead people
And
and
aliens. Not
aliens.
forget the aliens. No, it's like I'm definitely intrigued now. Like I'm intrigued as to what is happening at this point. I don't know. I don't know. Like I want to see how it's going to end up. I hope Mark doesn't, you know,
Don't yawn. We're too tired dads. Don't be too tired to finish this. Plow through.
I I think that I'd be interested in seeing where if Mark is going to like, you know, turn his friend or not, be like he's still going off the deep
Well,
end.
he sounded pretty fucking unhinged.
Yeah, if you're saying the tapes are real, man.
Well,
Oh my
look at it
God.
this way. He has a history of already flipping out, right? So
Yeah.
your friend calls you and starts saying it's all real. It wasn't a dream. I really saw her. Like, come on, man. Like, no matter how much you like your friend, I would be like, hey, buddy, just gonna call 911 here.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And I think that's the point of this whole thing is that they're trying to push him to that moment, you know? Since clearly there's been another person here looking at the tapes and stuff like that. How much do you want to bet there's like this whole thing where they need to like they're trying to make connections to the beings outside of time or something like that or whatever. And in order to do that, these tapes for this building the viscer and stuff like that, like they're constantly like putting people through it. That'd be interesting to see what's going to happen. I don't know.
I
I
mean,
I want to see the end of this now.
the obvious. What did we find out today? They were trying to find out, the cult people at least were really intently trying to find out what was in that film. That's
Yes, they
that's
want to
number
know
one.
the
That's a fact.
name.
This is a fact. They really want to see the film because they were asking like, so, and then they mentioned some ritual. So obviously, what that means is that they want to recreate that ritual,
Hmm.
right? Isn't that the most they want to know about it? So know either how to recreate it or maybe they need pieces of it to pieces. I don't know, but they need the ritual for something and they don't know it, right? So that much we know, and
Hmm.
we know the ritual involved sacrifice.
Yeah, and then Dan's whole thing is that he's trying to like he's been looking for the circle for a while to restore it, and he has it now. Like he was restoring it in the first episode. So it's possible that this whole thing is to try to get that piece of footage through to them, maybe? I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
I don't
I,
know.
I'm pretty sure they don't know he has it, right? So it's gonna
But
end up.
they've already told him to back off and go away. Like they're able to bend through time. At least if we're going to believe that Dan isn't insane, which at this point we're going to go with Dan isn't insane and this is actually happening.
So maybe Beatrice isn't medium for people who are dead, for more of a. No, she has to be because she spoke to the girl's father, and the girl's father
Yeah,
was dead. So then
yes.
Dan's
Might be
dead,
talking to different points in time.
either Dan's dead, and she's talking to Dan who's dead,
Mm.
or
Mm, I'd be more inclined to say that she's talking to people at different points in time. Like she's able to connect with people at different points in time. So with the past, she's able to go in the past easier than going into the future, which is what's going on with Dan and stuff like that. Like
maybe I don't know. It's all
I
speculation at
don't
this
know.
point.
Which is, well, yeah, we have to finish it now.
But
I
it's
have to
interesting.
know.
I mean,
I got.
I think she gouged her fucking eyes out at the end. So I was like, what
I
the fuck?
just.
So that
Whoa.
final scene, dude. Let's talk about the final
That's like
scene because
brisket.
if you're
It was
watching
like.
this,
It
spoilers
was like
anyways. So,
Yeah. Well, there you go. Spoiler alert. It was like brisket. It's like shredding a piece of brisket.
dude, I was so impressed. I need to rewatch it because I need. When I initially saw it, I was like, dude, this isn't CGI. They actually went ahead and they did
Yeah, physically did it.
physically did a
Yeah.
mold of somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and they did a really good job because that shit looked
Yeah.
real, dude. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. I was seriously like, holy shit, that hurt. That hit so much better than it's CG blood. It's like clay. It
It
was
looked
like
great, dude.
it's poltergeist with him in the mirror being like, and stuff like that. So
Yep, it was
yeah,
some
it
old
was.
school special effects where shit just like looks
It looked
extremely real.
good,
Yep,
and she sold it. God, she sold it.
and she
The
really did.
actress, she did such a good job. Oh my gosh.
So far, that scene has been probably the best scene in the entire
Highlight,
series. Yep, it's been the highlight. It's
highlight.
pretty fucking jarring. Everything else has been, yeah, pretty much running for the course. But I had not seen a special effect like that in a long time, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, like that was a treat. You mean my face is like this, like when you watch the video, if you want to rewind to that moment, I'm like, oh,
It was pretty gnarly, dude. But
oh man,
regardless, I mean, the good news is like it leaves you kind of wanting. And to be honest, if I wasn't so fucking sleepy, I would probably have wanted to watch the next episode. You know.
yeah, same.
So I'm like, oh, what happens now, man? Like, what's going on? Like, they're talking about the Annabelle's going bananas with the paintings and finding the portals and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing, and now everything's trying to come to a head, which is really nice. But I still think they could have shortened the fucking some scenes up
It
quite a
doesn't have to
lot.
be an hour. They don't all have to be an hour.
No,
It could have been different lengths, like 45 minutes, 22 minutes. Like it just needs to tell the story of that episode. It doesn't need to be an hour. Like I feel like that's an old television thing because like, your show's a half an hour or your show's 22 minutes or it's 45 minutes.
right?
That's your run times. That's it. It doesn't vary. So I feel like they're very much holding to that because when they were either pitched a series in Netflix, they were like, "Here's our formula for the show," and they built it. And
Yeah,
Netflix is like, "Okay, fine, hour-long episodes." And so they're like, "Okay," and so they had to stay to that because that's your formula for the show. So there is filler. There is inevitably filler. It's just a matter of if the filler is interesting or not.
yeah.
Um,
And
and for the most part, it's not contrived, but it's stuff we've seen. Like it's
I just
tropes.
hate. It's really hard in horror movies because any filler you add has to be so removed from the main story so that it's never in a sense associated with it. So what I mean by that is, you seen those fucking anime does it really funnily, right? Like when you're watching like a Naruto show and it's a really serious piece, and there's like a break, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? But it's like a
Yeah.
everybody goes to the beach and has a really good time. Like it's a completely there is no associating that episode with what's the story that's going on. And here I feel like they could have done something more, like for example, maybe doing more emphasis on those shows we watch, more emphasis on the art, like just stuff that you can fill things with, but it doesn't have to be like, and this happened and that happened, because what happens in the end is you have to either tie it all together,
Hmm.
which is a pain in the ass to do if you have a lot of loose ends, as you are a writer and you know that, and it's like I really hate it when movies do that. When it's like, well, one thing I'm trying to bring the, oh, well, here, this is the best I could do.
I like it when there aren't all answered questions, but I just want the answers to some of those questions to be really good. Like your answers have to be really good. So that's the thing. I love the fact that we have like this like techno magic vibe going on right now with the analog technology able to portalize into 1993. And I like the idea that time is becoming unhinged because of this connection for whatever reason. I am worried that we will get an explanation, and I don't like that idea. I'd rather have the causality happening and how you work within that causality than what made the causality happen, you know?
Mitochondrions, dude.
Madagascar. We can't do the other ones. Copyrighted, owned by the big
No, no,
the
we
big
can't.
giant mouse in the
No, I
sky.
don't want the mouse coming after me, dude.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. A big giant mouse in the sky. So
Just, you know,
ah. So
you should have not
um
explained it. There was no need. Why did you do that, Lucas? Why did you do that? It was so stupid.
yeah. So the point is, like, I'm I'm really hoping that we get some good answer. Like, tells a good story with the mechanics rather than telling us what made the mechanics. I'm like, I don't need to know why this is happening. I just want to know, can it tell a good story and hit the landing with what is going on here? So if it
Like,
could do that, then great.
if you were to say we're like 4 episodes in, this thing is what? How many episodes long?
Probably 10.
We're halfway through? No, a little bit less than halfway through, right?
Are we? I don't know.
Uh,
You tell me.
like,
We're
like,
post show, so we can look up things now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. How many? Wikipedia. It's got 8. I thought so. So we're halfway through the show.
Oh, it's 8. Okay.
So we're halfway through the show. At this point of the show, right? That's what
Yeah.
you would expect. We've reached peak. Now we have to start tying everything together. So what kind of
hmm
questions have we left unanswered in the first 4 episodes of this show that you would say, what, like, where are we? Where do we stand, right? Like, if we think about
hmm
it like that. So we have the idea of the lady with the red hoodie
hmm
who just keeps randomly fucking showing up and didn't show up at all this episode, by the way. So it was like, okay,
No, she did.
oh,
She
she
showed
did.
up for
Oh yeah,
five
she did for
seconds
five
outside.
seconds right outside. So, okay, you have her. So we don't know what to do with her, right? We still have the church thing that he found that's tied to that house, but that church thing hasn't really been like it's there, and we think it could be a church of the cultists, but we don't know. It's the
Mhm.
Virgil dude has his own part to play that we don't know about. We still don't know.
Which I get the whole like Dante's Inferno reference with Virgil being him. Uh, but yeah, like and additionally, there's also just the whole thing of what the hell is this company and why does it need to be, why is Dan there to do this in the first place? Because as we clearly have seen, someone did be in that complex and also knew how to open up the file room to get to the files and everything else in it. So it's like,
Who the hell
where
was
did that
that?
come from?
How did that?
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna fit all that backstory into 4 episodes, really? And like, was it necessary? Was it necessary? That's what I mean. Was it necessary to go? Is it really important for the plot that it happens that whole like what the fuck is introduced, or could you have found a better way to introduce that
You're talking
kind
about
of?
with the notebooks and
Yeah.
stuff, or yeah. I kind of felt
Who's the notebooks
uh,
now? Who's that person?
yeah. I mean, it's halfway through. It could either do one of two things. It could either enhance the plot or destroy it. Because the contrivance that the code was in this guy's notebook because he tried all the codes because he was there for so long, or they were there for so long, um, that they were able to crack the code and get in that room. And the fact is, those notebooks are old. They were not well cared for. They were just there. And also, the company that owns that building knows that those notebooks are in there. So they meant for him to find them. Clearly.
Well, they showed
They're
him the
not.
goddamn tapes. So it's like, hey, the dude knew the tapes contained shit about his father.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I
What
feel
the fuck
like
does it
this
mean?
might be some ritual shit, like with the cult and whatever. Like, they have to have Dan, like, somehow make a connection through. Maybe it's like an emotional connection, like rupture or something. Like, people who have mental issues in general are connected through into the fracture hole of the universe in which time is escaping and they are wanting to make that connection with the creature beyond it. So I don't know. These are
Like,
just thoughts.
they had the two people who have, we know died so far
Hmm
is the dad of this lady who had the snuff film and the dad died of suicide. They said that today. And
hmm
then we had that Dan's dad. We don't know how he died necessarily,
Yeah, that's still a
but we think
mystery.
it was probably murder suicide. And then we have it's more likely. And then we have it's like it's been suicides. And then we had the lover or sister, we don't know yet. She said sister, but then Annabelle's like, it was her lover, whatever. Um, of the red-headed lady, the one who the
Yeah,
artist, she
she
died of
threw herself in the
suicide.
Hudson. Yeah.
So,
But then we got her mom, who isn't dead apparently, since Medium Lady couldn't find her in the entire world of the dead that she scanned with her mind
but the
in like
but
five
but but we
minutes.
and we know that it's not the world necessarily of the dead, right? Because Dan is not
Yeah.
dead.
Hmm.
So this is
I don't
just
know.
like
That's the
that's like
thing.
like that's what gives me a little like okay, well, I'm not gonna try to think too hard about it because fuck that. But I just when we're talking about these kinds of things on the show and what we're liking about it, like I'm liking the mystery aspect of it. Totally am
Hmm.
liking how it's leaving me in the dark about a lot of things, and I'm like okay, well, I want to know what's happening with the cult and all this other stuff. But at the same time, it's like well,
Ghost Lady.
it's a ghost. I knew it. But at the same time, um, like there are really good things and there are really good scenes, and but at the same time, I think it's
Hmm.
fair to say there's some stuff that's just kind of like damn it, you know. Like
Yeah,
I
like
wish it
there's
would have been
some.
a little bit tighter, tighter,
I
just tighter.
That's why I'm cool with episodes being different lengths. Frankly, like that's the one advantage of streaming is that you can have different length episodes. They don't all have to be the same length. And and to me, I'm like, that's utilize it. And it kind of comes back to my whole philosophy of why the fuck are books so long? When you can really keep a book, like usually a writer can write a story that's much shorter than most books.
No,
And
Stephen King needs 6,000 pages.
ugh, ugh. So the point is, I get subplots can pay off and everything else. That's cool. But like I'm just trying to say, more often than not, a story can be told very shortly, succinctly, and beautifully. But it's because people have expectations of a certain genre or the medium that you're using it in, besides the old lady who carved her face apart, who is a medium. Um,
She looked
the
rare.
oh, dude, she would need to get back in the.
Ah.
Need to put her back on the grill. She was not done cooking.
Mm-hmm.
This tartar, my face tartar.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly, dude.
Um, yeah, like I'm genuinely like, if we can utilize these different streaming services to make episodes some shorter because it literally calls for it and some longer because you need that time, then that's great. Because as a viewer, I'd rather have a better, tighter viewing experience with the story I'm watching with pace and everything else than have, oh, we need to hit 56, 54 minutes consistently throughout. And that's when I go, well, does it all have to be hour longs? And it seems like more than anything else, it could even be like if you pace them well enough, they could have been shorter and it would have more episodes. But the show itself was trying to keep itself much more like
Oh well,
concise in
there's
its
that's
episode
it's
count.
an algorithm, homie. Like by now, Netflix
Yeah.
knows. They know, they know how long shows have to be for how many episodes to make you binge watch them. That they know that they have the data, dude. So
Yeah,
when
I'm not saying they don't.
it's sweet spot, all the recent episodes have all been the same. 8 episodes, 1 hour long. That's how it's all. Everything's coming out like that for adults right now, and it's. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's you're saying what you're doing 4 2 hour 4. I mean, it's if you're trying to get mathy on it, right? It's 8 hours.
Yeah.
So it's
It's one whole day if you wanted to watch all the entire
oh,
show, if you
it's
wanted to
yeah.
binge it.
You just divide your thing into 2 hour movies, I guess, and do 2 4 6 8.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's true.
And you're able
It's
to
really
tell.
weird.
But I feel like some stories, like you said, also don't need to be told in 8 hours. That's what I
Yeah.
think. I think a story can be told in 2 hours if it's done well. And then, but then at the same time, it's like Netflix is like, well, but we need
That's what I'm trying to
binge
say is
watchers,
that
right?
the publisher is like, well, we know we could sell this book at X amount of dollars if it had 300 pages. You need to pump in 50 more pages of content into your story so that way we can market it as a fully fledged like hardback, and we could charge $24 for the book. Because if we try to charge anything less, it it just, to them, it doesn't seem worth it. So
Well,
it's
because we have
like,
to cover the costs of marketing and all that shit.
yeah, and I get the whole angle. It's just I feel like not everything needs to be super fucking long all the time. I feel like books could be done in 200 pages or less, 150 pages or less. I mean, they're called novellas, but the fact is that I love them.
Western
They're
sexy
very
novellas.
hmm?
Western sexy novellas.
Telenovelas.
Oh my gosh.
Alejandro.
I agree with you. I think it's just, anyway, the point ended up being that so far it's been slow, but at least it's getting interesting, and
Yeah, it's picking up.
at least after a very slow start today, it ended on a high note and a tense note and the what's going to happen next note, which is great because it's just going to make
Yeah,
us watch the next couple of episodes with more anticipation, and we'll let you guys know our thoughts once we
yeah.
get
How do
the
you guys like
real
the show so
thoughts and
far?
idea. Yeah, hit
No spoilers
smash
in the
that
in the
like button,
comments.
subscribe that way.
No spoilers in the comments for Two Tired Dads. We only get once a week to
My
watch this
finger
shit.
disappears as it goes into the screen. Like I can't point properly. It's like magic. Um,
Oh my god, you're disappearing into the future past time.
don't stop the thing.
Ah!
So hopefully this week it'll be fine, and we'll watch you guys. You guys will get to see us next week, either just us talking and being idiots. Well, not idiots. I shouldn't say that about us because we're not.
We're good. We're smart
We're good.
guys.
We're
We went to
smart. We're smart
college.
people.
You're a doctor, for crying out loud.
For crying out loud. No, 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 not idiots. But yeah, we're bantering and we're tired. Hence
Yeah,
the
that's true.
hence the channel. It's been a long
Hmm.
day. It's 10:30, kind of situation. So we
It's
might be
so
saying some dumb
late.
shit. But or you'll be seeing us in the full-fledged version, or maybe both. Depends on how the copyright strikes go.
Here's hoping we don't strike out.
Because we've been striking out. Shit, dude.
Ugh. Well, regardless, I still like the format, so if it turns into just something we just do, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. Well, have a good night, my friend.
Have a good night, my friend. Take it easy.
Good night, everybody.